Our next panelist is Alex. Alex is based in London and he's working for a luxury boutique hotel, the Harry Hotel. He's in charge of room accommodations and operations and had to deal full front with the impact of the crisis. He's going to share with us some tips on how to deal with the room cancellations. And just worth mentioning that probably Alex will tweak his presentation a little bit during the panel, because just before the webinar started, based on the UK announcement of full quarantine, the hotel is closing down, and that's the news that Alex received and is starting the webinar with us. Alex, please go ahead, and thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So indeed, yeah, just received the news. My hotel is closing, but we're actually taking it as a positive thing. So, you know, I will talk a bit later about what we will do once we close. But my main point here is what we've done in the last 2 months, over the last 2-3 months, where we've seen a very large number of cancellations coming through. I'm sure I'm not the only one in that case. Everyone that works in the industry or in hospitality will have seen a lot of cancellations. The big question is how to deal with them. What type of company do you want to be during this really hard time? Are we going to charge the guests? Are we not going to charge them and put the business in danger? So just to give you some numbers, over the last 2 months, I've had about 3,000 bedrooms cancellation. That represents about 2.5 million of pure room revenue. And that number of cancellation happened within about 7 to 10 days. So we had to take immediate action straight away. So what we did, we just sat down straight away with our big bosses, our owners who are actually based in Hong Kong. They've lived the crisis before us. And we said, okay, what is the Harry about? What is our company about? Our company is privately owned. It's a luxury boutique hotel. What do we want to be? What type we want to be? So we decided to be the company that will be flexible, that will reach out to the guests in advance to make sure they can still travel, to allow flexibility even on non-refundable bookings or reservations. We contacted travel agents, asking them to be flexible as well, because sometimes it's not in your hand as a hotel, but it's in the hand of the OTA or travel agent somewhere else based in the world. So case by case has been really tough on us. We had to do 3,000 cancellation, just dealing with each guest individually. But let's not forget, in hospitality, the human touch is key. People don't want to be considered just as a number. They just want to have somebody on the phone to speak with, or a direct email from somebody to say, not worry, we will cancel your reservation. It will be free of charge, even though you booked a prepaid, not cancelable room. By doing this, we've seen a lot of really good feedback. We had on social media, TripAdvisor, on some magazines in London here, we had feedback from guests going back to you saying, oh, I really appreciate what you've done. We can't wait to book you again. So for us, that was what mattered, like offering various solutions to cancellations, because there's nothing you can do. Nobody can travel to you because airlines have canceled flights, or because the government said you can't travel to that country anymore. There's nothing you can do. So the best thing we could do at the time is to show flexibility. And guests really have been grateful about that. Some of the comments that I'm reading at the moment on TripAdvisor show that staff demonstrated genuine care and understanding. We can't wait to be back and can't wait for you to open again. So I'm a true believer that the action was actually taken in terms of cancellation, being flexible and doing case by case, have a stronger long-term impact on our business. Showing flexibility showing no flexibility would have affected our reputation really badly. We've seen those people really stressed, telling us, oh, you know what, if you can't cancel my booking free of charge, I will go all over the social platform and put negative review. I found this really pity in this time of crisis, but this is what we stood for. You know, we stood for our guests, for our staff, which are actually all very worried at the moment. So flexibility will be the key for all of you that still have hotels open and still dealing with cancellations. Now, obviously, and I just said, I've just found out this morning that the hotel is closing. So the priority is to look after our staff. We're one of the rare companies that haven't let anybody go because we could financially, and we are paying for up to 100% of the people's salary. By doing this, the staff is very loyal. They actually offered to come on site to help closing the building. It's a 10-floor building, so it takes a lot of time to actually close. And as soon as we finish with that conference, I will go myself and give a hand. We're closing so far for 5 weeks. The UK government hasn't really said for how long yet. We're taking advantage of these 5 weeks for the people that are still working, to do all, procedures we haven't had time to put in place, to do staff training, to actually improve the building. So the little touch up, repainting some rooms, reviewing the minibar, all this little project that we haven't had time to do. We're taking the time now, and hopefully we'll reopen in about 6 to 8 weeks. That's what we hope for. And it's very clear that we don't let anybody go, and that's really important.